Hey everyone, and welcome back to PitchIT.
Oh my God, I have no audio.
You have audio. I can hear you.
I have no audio.
Can you hear me? Sam, shake your head.
Times.
Yes. Matt,
just
you guys
start
hear
talking.
me? Yeah.
I'll listen.
It's just you again when we go live. So welcome. Sean and I are excited to bring you real conversations from the space. And today we get to do things a little bit more unique. And does he have sound again? He's shooting his fingers and thumbs up. So we're good. Sean, how are you doing today?
Doing great. Just trying to make sure my laptop works and audio. It's weird how it was working before this, but anyway, doing fantastic. I'm down in the beautiful sunny state of Florida where it's 125,000 degrees, but everything's going well.
Well, you're looking pretty good. You look like you're getting some sun out there. So you're spending some time on the beach, I imagine.
No, I've been working
hard.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Actually, though, but we were on the beach last week in San Diego for a channel con, so we should probably just acknowledge that. They did a great job. GTI, good job, guys.
They did. Fantastic job. They had a whole PitchIT thing as well. That was pretty cool seeing all that and the new inventions and things coming along.
I got to work out at the gym with DMC.
Nicole did too. She didn't even know.
She didn't know. She never knew. But anyway.
Just like curling. So if you've been in buried under a rock and you haven't seen us for the past 5 years, Sean, can you tell us what PitchIT is?
You know what? I'd be happy to, Adam. It's a good question. So PitchIT is a Shark Tank-like competition. It is designed for the startup vendors in the MSP space. It has become a 16-week accelerated incubator program for them to go through various trainings every single week, also through podcasts and live streams like the one we're about to do here now. But as I mentioned, is a Shark Tank competition for these vendors. This is an IT Nation and ConnectWise sponsored event. And what it comes down to is we have 19 vendors in this year. They're about to, within the next few weeks, they are going through the battle royale and the preliminaries to decide of those 19, what 3 become finalists to compete live on stage at IT Nation Connect in November. Yes, so they're playing for prize money, lots of it. Money and prizes. So they will be getting well over $150,000 in total cash and prizes between 3 finalists. And not to mention that when they go live on stage, it's in front of hundreds and hundreds of prospects.
It's pretty awesome. Pretty incredible. So I'm excited for IT Nation Connect this year. Excited to see what's going on in PitchIT. I am also excited for making sure people stay on time and cutting off that time right at 5 minutes.
Yeah. That's like literally on your tombstone. We'll literally have to say time is of the essence.
The best time clock manager of all time.
You are the OCD of time.
Yeah.
But with that being said, of time also, time is now to register for the Central Mafia User Group meetup in Chicago.
I was just going to get to that. September 17th. And I know that there's a registration link, but there's no URL shortener. So I'm going to actually just tell you guys to go to the website, Central Mafia, UG.com. And there's a registration link on that site. Check it out.
Yes, absolutely. Make sure you do register. Room block is open right now for discounted prices for the rooms. We do get there on the 16th and have a pre-day. You're more than welcome. Everybody's more than welcome to do, which is already paid for by the sponsors. So thank you, sponsors. And yes, that is it for this for now.
Okay, excellent. So we're here to talk about a little bit about PitchIT, and we have an OG on the waiting green room. So
yes, we do.
I'm gonna go ahead and bring in Matthew Koenig. How you doing?
How are you doing? Hey, sorry for the dog, everybody, but I've got a dog.
I don't hear him. Do you hear him?
I hear him.
I don't hear you. See,
you need to switch your audio again, Sean.
That because
just
you ignore me like usual.
Doesn't matter if I hear you or not. Just keep going. You're doing well.
You ignore me like usual. I'm used to it.
I know, right? So Matthew, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are
Sure.
you for our audience that don't know you yet?
Sure. So my name is Matthew Koenig. I've been in the channel for, older than dirt. I think it's almost 30 years now. So Mud and I arrived in the channel about the same time. I've worked for, dozens of vendors at this point. I had a guy come up to me at a show and said, I have a t-shirt from every place you worked. I said, do you have an extra dresser?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of shirts. But anyway, so I've been in the channel a long time, and I specialize in sales and go-to-market strategy and everything. And I've had a great time. I mean, I love, selling to the MSP space. I really do. I love helping MSPs and, find products that make the most sense for them. And, right now I'm with Nodeware. Love helping them figure out how to use Nodeware effectively to get into different accounts and how to take care of their accounts.
Nice.
Older than dirt.
Say, by the way, that I lived out of a storage box. Just FYI.
That's always fun.
Okay, so let me jump in here now. Okay, so Nodeware, right? And we're going to get into Nodeware's experience with PitchIT, since you did very well with it. But before that, you came into Nodeware and all these other companies because you have a certain set of skills. You're like, I think I heard that in the movie before. You have a certain set of skills, and you launched a company now, a consulting, in regards to this, because you have way too much knowledge in your dome that you should share with the world. So let's talk about this White Claw Wasted company you started.
Yeah, exactly. White Claw for Anyway, so the name of the company is White Tiger Channel Consulting. Thank you very much. And what I put together is I find MSPs are not great at sales, and a lot of things on that. And I find vendors are not great at go-to-market strategy. And what I mean by go-to-market strategy is talk tracks, how to do an effective demo that converts, how to onboard someone and keep that customer in the sales process, all kinds of stuff like that. So it's been great. The turnout, the conversations have been fantastic. I picked up 2 clients last week out of nowhere, which was great because I didn't call them, they called me. But one of the things I'd like to do for all the PitchIT contestants is, first of all, please, no hard sales pitch. There is no sales pitch. This is me giving back to the community. If you want, you can schedule time with me. I'll give you up to an hour, and let's discuss PitchIT. Give me your presentation and I'll critique it. Talk to me about go-to-market strategy. Anything you want, we can talk. And it's whitetigercc.com.
Good job, Adam. On
I didn't think somebody else came with that name.
But I mean, all you got to do is schedule time. You can email me. You can go to my site. There's a calendar there. And again, there is no hard sales pitch. Look, after we talk, if you want more, that's great. I'm happy to talk to you about that. And if you don't, that's fine also. At this point, PitchIT was really good to me. The industry's been fantastic to me. It's how I've made my living for 30 years and, how I have all the nice toys that I do. So I want to give back at this point, and I want to help vendors that are trying to get into the MSP space, really get in there, grow, and be successful.
And actually, to add to this, I actually reached out to Matthew about the fact he should be in PitchIT or apply, and he was like not uncertain at first when we talked about it. And I think it was partially because he thought he was like, I'll probably destroy everybody, but so I actually did reach out for him to apply, see if he'd be accepted, which worked out in the long run. So yeah, I forced Matthew, and that's because of his really good hair. Try to keep us all together.
Yeah, you did. And no, it turned out to be a great thing. I mean, look, PitchIT is one of those things where as you look at it, it seems daunting, right? From the outside looking in, it seems daunting. But the reality is if you jump in and embrace it, there's so much learning and so much community and so many things to take away. Look, are you going to take away something from every single session? Possibly not, right? There are things you may know or have down already. But I guarantee you, after 16 sessions, you're taking away something that you can use the very next day in order to make your business better, increase your business, get more exposure, et cetera, et cetera. And one of the things we loved at Nodeware really was the fact that it brought the company together. I've said this a million times. It was really cool to watch everybody in the company go, okay, what do you need? Because now we're competing, right? Now we're going after it. And so what happened was, sales, marketing, tech support, everybody jumped in. How can we help? And it was really, really awesome. Plus, as I said, I've been doing this 30 years, but come on, I took stuff away that I was able to bring back and we were able to implement that made us a better company. And finally, you can't beat the exposure. All the podcasts, all the media, all the other stuff. Come on, one of the most important things you can do as a vendor, especially in the MSP space, is brand. Make sure people know you exist. I mean, that's number one. This is going to make it happen. This is really going to make it happen. So even if you don't come in the top 3, it's okay because you're getting the same thing out of it everybody else is, with the exception of the crappy set of steak knives that I got that I'm still bitter about. I hear they're actually giving away decent steak knives now, so I want my decent steak knife.
Wait. Sean, did you even talk about the prize money?
We did. We talked about prize money. Remember, we said what it was in general. We just didn't mention the steak knife part. So
Yeah. Whatever. Couldn't afford a set of Henkels or anything.
No.
So anyway, my point is, look, even if I loved being in the top 3. Trust me, my ego loved it. Let's be honest. But at the end of come on, we all know my ego loved it. I know who I am. But at the end of the day, we still got as much out of it as anybody, and you will get as much out of it as anybody, even if you're not in the top 3. Because think about it this way. All the learning, all the exposure, except for the very end of it, all the things that you need to be successful, you get up until that point. It doesn't stop. So again, please, if you don't make it to the final round, it's okay. First of all, you can apply again. So you can go after it again, after learning everything, you can go
2 times.
Yeah, you can go, my ego did not like this. I'm going at it again. But I promise you, pay attention, jump into the program, right? Give it the attention it deserves, and you will get a return out of it.
I like that. Well, here's a question. Do you think maybe it'd have been better if you would have not been a finalist in the first year and came to the second year and was able to maybe hone in a little bit?
Maybe. I do, because I think there were a couple pieces to our presentation, as good as it was and as much fantastic feedback we got. Once being in front of the judges, I think it kind of gives you an advantage as to know what they're looking for the next year. Even if they're different people, the set of criteria is kind of the same. And so I always think that that's an advantage to, have a clue and then go back into it again. Plus, here's the other benefit. All the sessions you did, you may not attend one. You may not have paid it as a close attention as you should have. You may not have been able to get your marketing person to attend the one session on brand or marketing. Second time around, you can set all that up and you'll get twice the benefit out of it.
I specifically say that because strategy overview would be case in point of that, right? They came in the 1 year and they didn't make the finals. And Alex and I had a conversation about it, and he reapplied and came back second year and won the whole damn thing. And his presentation was dope.
Yeah.
It was spot on.
He did a great job. So
his daughter.
Yeah, his daughter. He brought the ringer, his little daughter. But no, but I think he learned some things, because if you look at Alex's presentation the year prior to the next year, it was far more polished. Yeah. He was very concise. So no, I appreciate you saying and being honest about even the fact of like, first, your ego. Second, that you're mad at steak knives. And third, the fact that you said it best, though, really, is that the best thing that a vendor can do is get themselves out there as much as possible.
Yeah.
Get that exposure.
Well, new vendors, number one on my list, whether I consult or I'm sitting down with someone, MSPs have to know you exist. And I know that seems like a duh, No. PitchIT is perfect. They need to know you exist, and they need to understand what you do, and it needs to be concise, specific, how you solve their problem, and how you bring value. They don't care about speeds and feeds. They don't care about all the background stuff that's going on. I have a problem. Can you solve my problem? How do you solve my problem? And that's another thing that PitchIT teaches you, how to hit those three things very concisely, where you get someone's attention quickly and they go, oh, I want to know more.
Yep, I agree.
Sean's typing.
So, yeah.
So Sean, so Matthew, you've been in the program a long time. You've been helping out, and so I know the contestants right now are preparing for their final 5-minute pitch. Sean, do you give them any training, coaching, individual time? Like, I'm curious.
I mean, even Matthew and I talked about it too, because I'll let Matthew elaborate further, but I think the one thing that first off, every vendor that's in the competition has access to me to talk about it and go through, the particulars. And, it's a good way to sit there and sort of consolidate and refocus, right? Because it's never, you get in the weeds for sure. Back to the reason why he mentioned the speeds and feed thing is because it's you as an owner, especially, you're in this and you're developing and you want to talk about your last release, right? You get into that. However, but I'll let Matthew get deeper into it, because Matthew went through it personally. Like, what did you find being beneficial, and what should the contestants, what should they be preparing themselves for?
Sure. Look, I, like anybody, I have my pitch at the booth, and it's Nodeware does this and this and this and this. By the way, you don't have time to do that. So one of the things you have to learn, especially as an owner, especially as vendors where you've got the founder involved, it is so hard for them because they're not used to sales. They're not used to truly doing the marketing in a lot of cases. So they're not used to being able to say what they do in a concise manner. Like you said, they want to go, oh my God, we added this feature and this feature and this feature, and you wouldn't believe what it does. You have to figure out how to present what you do in an effective but efficient manner so it still draws attention. And I think that was one of the hardest things, even for me doing this a long time, right? Coming up with, there are 20 things that I think are important about Nodeware. How do I take those and wind them down? And the second thing is the 5-minute presentation, right? Look, if I told you how many times I went through that freaking presentation and redid it and timed it and redid it and timed it, because again, there's so much you want to say. 5 minutes is both a lot longer and a lot shorter than you think. A lot longer because if you're not used to speaking, wow, it seems like forever. But once you get it down, it goes like that. Sean's looking at you going, get off, you're done. And you're going, holy crap. So one of the things I can tell you is, look, be concise. Don't focus on the product. Focus on the problem and the outcomes. That's what's critical. Okay? That's what you're selling. You're not selling your product. You're selling problem, solution, outcome. That's what you need to be focused on.
Yeah. I often hear about this, and I'm just curious what your thoughts are going through the program. Is I often hear that they quite don't know what the exact problem is they're solving. All they know, they just know that there's a problem. So can you talk a little bit about that? Because that is really, really super key.
Yeah. A lot of vendors came up with what they thought was a cool thing, right? I call it founder syndrome, right? I go, whoa, I've got a great idea. But they never go and say, hey, do you think that's a good idea? Hello, my market, do you think that's a great idea? And therefore, you end up with 500 duplicate products that are all claiming the same thing. So to your point, I think it really comes down to talk to some MSPs. Ask them what problem ahead of time, if you haven't, they think this solves, especially if you're just starting out. But you know what? More importantly, I've sold 100 MSPs already. Okay, so that doesn't mean you're going to continue to sell. That may be your max level at this point based on the way you present your information. So the real thing is if you're going to sell in this industry, talk to people. Find out, okay, here's what my solution does. Take it outside of PitchIT. You can talk about it all you want and say, how would this help you? Would it save you time? Would it save you money? Would it make you more efficient? Would it make your customer go, oh my God, I have to have this? What is the problem you solve for someone? Because guess what? Again, nobody cares. I'll give an example. MSPs love to say, I'm going to go sell Nodeware, which is a vulnerability management product. Okay. Don't need to go into the details. I would love to watch somebody, an MSP, go out and sell Nodeware, because it ain't ever happening as long as I breathe, because they can't sell it because they don't sell real well. But beyond that, you go to a CEO or a CFO of a 250 person company and say, you need vulnerability management. No, I don't. Yes, you do. Does it cost more money? Yes. No, I don't. And now you're getting into that fight because you're selling it as an add-on. Guess what? If it was absolutely critical, it wouldn't be an add-on. Take it back a step to the vendors. Okay? Why is it critical for them to have this? And more importantly, I don't care about what problem you think it solves. What problem do they think it solves? Because you know what? You may be one feature away from quadrupling your business. Or you may be 2 sentences away of speaking a talk track differently from doubling your business. But you've got to spend the time, effort, and energy. And too many founders are in their head and their world and never get outside of it.
So is it safe to say, ultimately, coming back to the original challenges, the speeds and feeds, everything, right? And your point's well noted as far as every entrepreneur gets to a threshold and then they need help getting past that threshold, right? And it's kind of like that sales curve that takes place. Sales reps, let's use sales reps example. When they start a job, that they're flatlined when they start day one, right? They're learning the stuff, and you start seeing their sales grow. Then they hit the peak, and then they start to drop. They start to dip, right? And then a good sales rep identifies the fact that I'm speaking too much. I'm saying things that aren't relevant to the conversation, and then they level off, they go back up. The ones that don't go down, and typically you see that with owners. They want to keep saying these things, going down. And that's where they have to get back to just the focusing on how to get to this. Now, the question is, how do you end up focusing? How do you determine what the focus should be towards?
I think that's talking, right? You go out to your customer base and say, here's a product that I have, right? And rather than focusing on selling, I'm not saying sales isn't important. Maybe have an advisory panel. Maybe get together a bunch of people for lunch. Maybe go to a show and reach out and ask 10 MSPs if you can sit them down and buy them dinner and get feedback. Again, I don't care if it's MSP world or it's outside of that. It's the mid-market. As a marketing professor of mine always said, you can build a better mousetrap. And it could be. But if your target market doesn't see it, it isn't a better mousetrap. And the reality is you have to be willing to sit down and have the conversations, not talk at them. Give them what the product does, what the outcomes, what problem you think it solves, what the outcome should be, and say, useful or not useful. Let them give you feedback. Because again, you may be just wording away from doubling your sales. You may be one feature away. But if you don't know that, all you're going to do is go down a path, get really freaking frustrated, and throw your hands up and go, this doesn't work. This channel sucks. And the reality is no. And guess what? Your product doesn't suck either. You just didn't do enough research to make sure you're saying the right things and it solves the right problems. How many AI socks are out there? We use AI. We use AI in our SOC. We use AI in our SOC. And we've got a SOC-enabled AI. Okay. There's 16 of them. Which one do I pick and why? I'm sorry. A lot of those.
So you're basically saying probably one of the focus points they should have is the differentiator conversation.
Yep. Because here's the thing: if you say the same thing, nobody cares. It's fact. How many EDRs are out there?
Yeah.
Can you tell me the difference between all of them? Because I can't, and I've been doing this a long time. And so it really, we have faster support. Yay. I'm more interested in how you block stuff from happening.
Yeah. I think it's really key. I see a lot of the most successful companies that come out of PitchIT are the ones that really truly engage and embrace the channel and have fun and enjoy. And it's the culture difference. Hang out, I see the old competitor, like Threat Captain, right, is another one. That was finalist last year, and just seeing them grow and continue going. It's awesome. So let's wrap up this. And so PitchIT Battle Royale. Sean, talk us through, because it looks like it's over the next 3 weeks, starting in August 13th.
Yep, 1 day a week. Is basically what it boils down to. Because there's 19, I think it's what, 6, 8 or something. I forget what the numbers are. I forget at this point. I forget how it's broke down, but Larry, we're averaging 6 a day basically, and it'll compete. They get 5 minutes. We hope that every MSP and vendor that wants to come watch them, because you should. It's a clinic. Come and watch this. But what happens for the Battle Royale? This is part of the judging to determine the 3 finalists. So your input for people that are watching counts. So again, 5-minute pitches, no Q&A on those ones. It's like Matthew said, 5 minutes and we drop the bomb. Done. You're out. But you get to watch. If you're shopping for anything or just want to watch and get a preview of things, it's a great way to do it, because nobody knows who you are. That you'll do a survey after every pitch, and it's anonymous, and nobody knows who said what. You don't become a lead for anything, so that's not what this is about either. This is literally for you guys to help the betterment of the space by actually helping to select vendors that should have longevity. And also giving these vendors some feedback. One thing every vendor wants is feedback from the audience. Like Matthew said, it's about the talking. The talking happens. It's a two-way street here. We, as a vendor, they say things. We need the MSPs to respond and say, this makes sense or doesn't make sense, or what maybe it looks like, So everybody should definitely tune in. You should definitely do your surveys afterwards. You should definitely follow your favorite people too. There's a lot of good vendors that have a nice network in the space and have friends. Don't want friends just to win because they're friends. I want them to win because they actually do well in this. So please tune in.
I will add one more thing.
Yes.
If you're going through PitchIT and you don't go to any shows, now's the time. Go to a few shows. You don't have to be expensive shows, okay? I'm not telling you have to spend money, $50,000 to go to a show. But go to some shows. This is the ideal time to get feedback, and an easy way to be in front of MSPs and get feedback on what you're doing and how you're doing it. You can't buy that kind of goodwill to have that many MSPs in one spot at the same time that you can ask questions to. So what I'll say is, you don't have to have $1 million show budget. You don't have to go to 70 of them. But during the 16 weeks, I'm sure there are 3 or 4 going on out there, because there always are. Pick 2, set your strategy of the questions you want answers to, and go get it.
Love that.
I don't have anything else to say, but I will say that just check out the link and go register. Matthew, you're kicking ass today.
Thank you very much.
So definitely, it looks like you have to register for it. It's 3 times happening over the next 3 weeks, starting on August 13th, and it's 6, 6, and then 7.
And to be clear, it doesn't mean you guys have to be there for every single one of them, but we would like you to be involved.
Yeah. With that, thank you.
Thank you.
It's been awesome. Been an awesome pleasure having you on here, Matthew.
I appreciate
Sean, any closing words, Matthew?
If you want help, if you need help, if you want to talk, reach out. I'm happy to give away an hour. And again, no hard sales pitch. If you don't ever want to talk to me again after this, I absolutely totally get it.
He's used to being turned, blown on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Continue. Yes, sorry.
I'm just saying, I'm not even a good side chick anymore. So what do you want me to say?
You're not.
Well, your shirt is pretty awesome. Let's see that
Thank
now
you.
that dog's not. Yeah, there it is. The
Thank you
white
very
tiger.
much.
We got the next Tiger King is White Tiger.
Is that a puma?
No.
I know, right? It looks like the Puma shoes. Okay. All right.
Take your white claw
Fun?
and get out of here.
Close us out. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll see you guys at the Battle Royale this Thursday. Later.
Later.